Chinese language documents Bible history modern-day artifact. Over 5,000 years ago the Chinese written language was created, and that same written language is still used today. The Chinese characters were in existence at least 1,000 years before Genesis was written down by Moses as he was inspired by God. It would appear that these characters came into existence when one of Noah's sons or one of his sons' descendants moved to the east following the Tower of Babel confusion of languages. This is concluded from the Chinese character for ship in the presentation below. Each Chinese character is pictographic in composition and reveals its meaning in story form. It is important to note that written Chinese depicts people in several ways: a walker, a mouth, an upright individual, a walker glowing, which is also used for fire. Also, when reading Chinese it is read from right to left, and so the story of the origin of the character and its meaning is defined from right to left. Chinese for ship, 8 mouths in a boat. Genesis 7:13. And on the very same day Noah and Noah's sons Shem, Ham and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, entered the ark. 1 Peter 3:20. Who formerly were disobedient, when once the divine long-suffering waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was being prepared, in which a few, that is, 8 souls, were saved through water. Chinese for devil, alive in a garden walks a deceiver. Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, Has God indeed said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Chinese for create, alive from the earth came a mouth who moved. Genesis 2:7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. Chinese for first, alive from the earth came a walker. Genesis 2:7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. Chinese for garden. From the earth came a mouth that walked, and another walker came out of his left side, and they were enclosed in a garden. Genesis 2:8. The Lord God planted a garden eastward of Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. Chinese for ancestor, alive. From the earth came a walker, who also came from God. Genesis 1:26. Then God said, Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Chinese for happiness and success. 1 Mouth in a garden with God. Genesis 2:15. The Lord took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to tend and keep it. Chinese for west. In China, when someone dies, they say they have gone to the west. Why? This character answers that question. 1 walker, entering into an enclosure, which is seen in the above character for garden. Chinese for flesh. A hand, entering into an enclosure, to take out a 2:21-22. Lord caused to on. He slept, he took ribs, closed up flesh in its place. 22 Rib which Lord had taken he and took, he brought her to.
Chinese for wife. Chinese refer to their wives as their inside man. This character for wife shows a new hand entering into an
enclosure. Chinese forbidden. 2 trees, stands. 2:16-17. Lord commanded, saying, freely. 17 But knowledge shall, in it shall die. Chinese, cover near 2 trees, resides. Genesis 3:1-5. Now serpent cunning than which Lord had, he said to, has indeed said, shall. 2 Said to serpent, fruit trees. 3 But fruit which is in midst, has said, shall it, nor shall, lest die. 4 Serpent said to, die. 5 Knows and it opened, knowing. Chinese covet, lust. 2 trees, stanza. 3:6 So food, it pleasant to, a desirable to make, took its fruit. 8 Also gave to her husband her, he ate. Chinese, into, mouth. 3:6 So food, it pleasant to, a desirable to make, took its fruit. 8 Also gave to her husband her, he ate. Chinese converse, 2 Glowing people, talking. 2 8 Fruit sinned, is written upon, in presence, s glory comes upon mankind. 2:3 As it did Moses. Sin removed glory. Romans 3:23, which came into s presence daily. 3:7-8 Both them were opened, new were naked, sewed fig leaves themselves coverings. 8 Heard Lord walking in. Wife hid themselves presence Lord among trees. Chinese 2. Almost. Behind a. Is a. 3. 8 heard Lord walking in. Wife hid themselves presence Lord among trees. Chinese. Hiding behind a. 2. 3. 8 heard Lord walking in. Wife hid themselves presence Lord among trees. Chinese distant. Far. Earth. Came a. Mouth. Walked. Came left where. Sent. 323 Therefore Lord sent him to till which he taken. Chinese punishment. Sword. Placed behind. 2. 324 So he drove. He placed a cherubim at east. A flaming sword which turned. To guard 2. Chinese holy. Above. Rain. 3. Beings. Who. Signs wonders. 1 Corinthians 12. 4-6 Diversities gifts. But. 5 differences ministries. But Lord 6 diversities activities. But it is who. 126 said. Us make in our image. According to our likeness. Them dominion fish sea. Birds. Cattle. Earth creeping creeps on earth. Chinese righteousness. Lamb. 129 Jesus toward him. Said. Who takes sin?